Hello, this is the Natural Rights Sangha meeting for the week of November 15th. And I'm on the road. I'm in a motel room in Garberville, California. Garberville's an interesting place. I really like the beauty of the area. The hills, the mountains, the forests. The ocean is only 20 miles to the west or so. And the redwoods are here. It's gorgeous. This is one of the major marijuana growing regions of America too. And there are many people here who would attest to both the wonderfulness and the unfortunate aspects of that. But let's start with a meditation as we usually do. So please set your timer for 10 or 12 or 15 or 20 minutes, however long you like. Please sit up straight, legs folded or flat on the floor, hands together or fingers together in whatever form you wish. The Buddhists say there are different meanings to however they are together, and they're right, but just do what feels good for you. We can study those permutations some other time. So let's begin the meditation, focusing just on the breath, letting thoughts go. The way I prefer to do is just to feel it coming past the tip of my nose, inhaling and exhaling. And when thoughts come, one thing we can do is go thinking, and just let the thoughts go. Don't follow them, don't play with them. Dinner date tonight, football game tomorrow, whatever it is, just let it be. So please start your timer and let's begin. And then stop this video and then turn it back on when your timer goes off. So here we go. Oh, welcome back. Today, I'd like to read from a sacred text that is very old, from the time of Confucius or before, which puts it right around the same time as the Buddha. Interestingly, Gore Vidal, a controversial person in his own right, wrote a book called Creation about 30 or 40 years ago, in which one person was able to meet Zoroaster, the Buddha, Confucius, and Socrates in the same lifetime. And technically, that would have been possible if you'd lived a long life and traveled a lot. And this was what the book was about. The book, like Confucius the Best, it didn't really spend much time with Buddha or Socrates, but it mentioned them. And at least that's my memory of it. And that is interesting. That was an important time. Now, what we're going to do tonight is to read from this book. Okay, Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching. Now, this version, it's a translation by Gia Fu Feng and Jane English, is a good one. I've had friends who've read many versions of this sacred text who attest to this one being a very nice version. And what I'd like to do while I read through it is please refer in your mind to this and to the precepts. And if you've read the Bhagavad Gita, you will obviously see some connections to that great book too. Um, Now, the Tao itself, the Tao, when I read this, I think of the Tao as being all that is, the self, the absolute consciousness. Some people would call it the divine. I don't like to call it God because then we anthropomorphize it and we put it into a Christian or Judaic or Islamic or whatever framework. And that's not what this is. This is just the one without a second. Our essence, basically, which we always are and don't realize it a lot of the time. And so I'd like to read through the Tao Te Ching, just some of the chapters. And when you hear the word Tao, think of all it is, the universal. Think of that movie screen, which is really you and everything, with all of the things of life happening on that movie screen, which we observe and hear and smell and taste and apparently take part in, but they're on a movie screen. You're the star. Yeah. And one person made the analogy that imagine there's a movie screen 5 miles long and can only see part of it at the time. Well, the part of it is what we call the present. And then as the screen moves along, we move along the screen, time apparently passes and we see more supposedly happens. It's an interesting analogy. I believe there's a lot of truth to this analogy. But let's read the Tao Te Ching. Under heaven, all can see beauty as beauty only because there is ugliness. All can know good as good only because there is evil. Therefore, having and not having arise together. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short contrast each other. High and low rest upon each other. Voice and sound harmonize each other. Front and back follow one another. Therefore, the sage goes about doing nothing, teaching no talking. That 10,000 things rise and fall without cease. Creating, yet not possessing. Working, yet not taking credit. Work is done, then forgotten. Therefore, it lasts forever. Therefore, the sage goes about doing nothing, teaching no talking. Well, Ramana Maharshi was the absolute essence of the teacher who taught with silence, and said that was the best teaching he had. And the 10,000 things, you'll hear a lot about the 10,000 things. That's the Taoist way, and I believe the Buddhists use it similarly as the way of saying all of the world, everything in the world, the 10,000 things, the sky, the trees, the land, the people, the animals, the birds, the everything, the 10,000 things. So that's what they mean. They mean everything here on this apparent plane, in Maya, in samsara, in Leela. Yeah, those are the 10,000 things, all of which we can get excited about if we let it happen, if it happens. Any one of them. Now, that was chapter 2, if you call it a chapter. Here's number 8. The highest good is like water. Water gives life to the 10,000 things and does not strive. It flows in places men reject, and so is like the Tao. Indwelling, live close to the land. In meditation, go deep in the heart. In dealing with others, be gentle and kind. In speech, be true. In ruling, be just. In business, be competent. In action, watch the timing. No fight, no blame. I particularly like that chapter because it's so much like our precepts. It echoes our precepts so well, or I should say, our precepts echo it, since this predated our precepts by about 2,400 or 2,500 years. Be close to the land, appreciate nature just like we do. Go deep in the heart in meditation. Be gentle and kind. In speech, be true. In ruling, in making decisions, be just. In business, be competent. In action, watch the timing. Those are all inherent in the precepts, and vice versa. No blame, no fight. In chapter 11, 30 spokes share the wheel's hub. It is the center hole that makes it useful. Shape clay into a vessel. It is the space within that makes it useful. Can doors and or cut doors and windows for a room. It is the holes which make it useful. Therefore, profit comes from what is there, usefulness from what is not there. The analogy of the pot at the bottom of the ocean with water inside of it. Okay, it's part of the ocean, right? The water is part of the ocean, but it's special water. It's inside the pot. Well, the analogy has often been made that we are like the pot. We are the pot, and we think we're special because this shape is unique, right? You know, and yet we're really like the pot in the ocean. I'm in the ocean water in the pot. I'm special. This is cool. I'm really unique. But then eventually the pot gets old, and the water is just water again. That was chapter 11. Now we'll move to 13. Accept disgrace willingly. Accept misfortune as the human condition. What do you mean by accept disgrace willingly? Accept being unimportant. Do not be concerned with loss or gain. This is called accepting disgrace willingly. What do you mean by accept misfortune as the human condition? Misfortune comes from having a body. Without a body, how could there be misfortune? Surrender yourself humbly. Then you can be trusted to care for all things. Love the world as your own self. Then you can truly care for all things. Accept misfortune as the human condition. Well, that's certainly a Buddhist way of looking at things. As the Buddha said, the first of his Four Noble Truths is life is suffering. Life is dissatisfaction. And here it says, accept misfortune as the human condition. Yes, as long as you're attached to this, that's the case. And certainly, from the perspective of being in the world, almost no day goes by with everything being perfect, with me getting everything I want and not getting a thing I don't, which, of course, is the attraction aversion dynamic. And we deal with that in the precepts, I believe, nicely. And that was 13. Now we go to 15. The ancient masters were subtle, mysterious, profound, responsive. The depth of their knowledge is unfathomable because it is unfathomable. All we can do is describe their appearance, watchful, like men crossing a winter stream, alert, like men aware of danger, courteous, like visiting guests, yielding, like ice about to melt, simple, like uncarved blocks of wood, hollow, like caves, opaque, like muddy pools. Who can wait quietly while the mud settles? Who can remain still until the moment of action? Observers of the Tao do not seek fulfillment. Not seeking fulfillment, they are not swayed by desire for change. The masters are watchful, alert, courteous, yielding, simple, hollow, and opaque. They have the patience to watch the mud settle. They can remain still until the moment of action. They don't seek fulfillment. They aren't swayed by a desire for something better or to avoid something worse. When I think of opaque like muddy pools and waiting for the mud to subside, there's an expression from Tai Chi, and that's in Tai Chi, we move so slowly that it is like we have a cup of tea with tea leaves in it, and we do not want to disturb the tea leaves. We want to leave them on the bottom of the cup, resting gently as we move. So we move very slowly. It just reminds me of that. If you have any questions or comments or concerns or would like to hear more about some things, please do send an email to mark@naturalrightsangha.org. Right now, one of our precepts is up for close examination. Two companies have come out and said there's a vaccine that's 85 to 94% effective. There are two with various rations of effectiveness. And they presented no proof. They presented no list of ingredients. They presented nothing so far, but everyone is hopeful. I'm even hopeful. The second one is supposedly plant based, which is much better than being based on genetic animal material of God knows where it came from and some from unborn babies, which is interesting. But again, I'm going to be checking for certain ingredients like aluminum and formaldehyde and mercury based derivatives just to make sure it's safe for us. Yeah. So we'll keep informed on that. And may you have a blessed time as we move towards a Thanksgiving without family in America, it seems, due to this COVID situation. May all go well in keeping the precepts. Yeah. And let's finish with the Four Immeasurables. So please repeat after me. May I have happiness in the causes of happiness. May I be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May I never be separate from the happiness that is free of sorrow. May I reside in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Now, to me, the most important one, of course, is the we. It's for all of us. It's for the apparent you, the apparent whoever else you wish it to be. Okay, it could be everybody. It could be all sentient beings. It could be the universe. It could be animals. It could be your pet Barfy the dog or Lulu the cat. It could be whatever. So you choose the we and choose one member of the we and look into their eyes and let's do the four measurables again. So may we have happiness and the causes of happiness. May we be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we never be separate from the happiness that is free of sorrow. May we reside in equanimity, free of attachment and aversion. Well, thank you for being here. I was going to salute you like this. This is the old martial arts salute with the left hand covering the right, signifying yang doesn't deliver something until yin signals for it to. The coordination of yin and yang, the receptive and the expressive. And may you have a good week in keeping the precepts and blessings.